let me introduce myself. I actually have 25 years in the permission business. I do see some faces out there that could remember a company that I built in the early .com period. It was called Real Age. Anybody hear of it? It was a health risk assessment. And actually, I'm sure you all know my partner, Dr. Mehmet Oz. That's where he got his media start. Real Age was a health risk assessment that collected hundreds of data points about someone's health and well-being, and then would ask permission if someone would like to receive information about products and services that can make the real age younger. And about 60% of people opted in. And when they did, the response rate wasn't a little better. It wasn't 3 or 5x better, but it was 10x better across the board. Once somebody shares data and gives permission, I know what the results would be. I sold the company to Hearst very successfully, and that's when Dr. Oz took over the Oprah show, and now he's in the Trump administration. And here I am building startups again. I've been doing it for 30 years, and I'm more excited than ever about permission. And by the way, permission was launched several years ago, or 5 years ago, with the one idea that data has value and that individuals should be paid for it. That big tech extracts all the value from data, but it was time for individuals to receive that value. And now with AI, that vision is going to scale and become real. So everybody knows the old adage, garbage in, garbage out. It couldn't be more true when it comes to AI. People think in this industry, oh, you can scrape the web, and that's great data. Oh, you can get, data off of anywhere, you can scrape it. Well, I'll make the point that that's garbage data. What do you think the web traffic, how much is bots? Anybody who's been in the internet business, you have any idea how much is bots based? Anybody have a guess? That's on the high end, absolutely. On the low end, 30-40%. So that means the data that you're scraping is just all made up. Do you know that organized crime across the globe, that internet fraud is the second biggest business next to narcotics? It's a $100 billion business, click fraud. And that's the data that people are building their AI agents and models on. Think about that. So we all know garbage in, garbage out. Imagine you're a Michelin chef, a superstar chef. You have the best techniques, the best skills, but if you don't have the best ingredients, your food's not going to be very good. So keep that image in mind. Quality is something that is so important, data quality. Who read any of Walter Isaacson's books on Steve Jobs or Elon Musk? Anybody read those? A few. Okay. Well, when you read those biographies, Steve Jobs, in particular, what stood out was that he was so fascinated with the details, every detail that went inside the phone. Everybody thinks about the elegance and the interface and the shape, and the glass, but Jobs was focused on what was inside. Every detail mattered. Musk is the same way. These are the two greatest entrepreneurs of this information age, and it's all about the detail. We've all used various AI tools, and now and then you get this weird results. Well, context is important. I mean, this is a perfect example. What's a jaguar? Well, it could be a wild animal, or it could be a car. AI has trouble with that. Verification. Do you know the provenance of the data? Do you know where it's coming from? How certain are you? So verification is absolutely essential for understanding data quality. And this is my favorite slide because consent needs permission. But in this context, somebody's thrilled to give consent, just like in a marriage proposal. Consent is something that has to be conscious and clear. Can't be just buried in the terms of service. It has to be overt. And guess what? You don't want to be this guy. The data has to be auditable. Imagine at a big enterprise, you're building every company now is an AI company. That's what's so exciting about this industry. There is no, every business in the world is now an AI company. And the tools that they're building and the models and the agents, if they don't know where the data's coming from, you're going to be this guy. So I like this term. I'm not sure we're going to go with it. Who likes this term gold standard of data? I actually like it, but I'm not sure we're going to run with it. Who likes it? Okay. Well, that's about 50%. I'm of the age and I'm of the mindset. The gold standard actually means something. In healthcare, gold standard it's always the highest quality of care. That's a commonly used term. Obviously, in finance, although our fiat system is kind of forgotten about the gold standard. But anyway, all of these things, context, verification, real human beings, real permission and consent, all mean the gold standard of data. Now, when I founded Permission, it was all based on the idea that data is property. It is our individual property. We own it. But what's happened over the last decades is big tech, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, not that they're evil, but they have monetized data beyond anyone's thoughts that could ever be done. Data is real property. It obviously has enormous value. These companies are worth trillions, trillions. And the only asset is data. Amazon went from zero to 80 billion. They're going to do $80 billion in advertising this year. In 6 years, they built an $80 billion advertising business. Why? Because they have all of our data about what we buy, what we search for, what we, purchase, and what we look for. That data has incredible value. And, same with Google, what we search for, Facebook, who we are friends with. So this property is real. And everyone knows the metaphor, data is the new oil. But I like this picture because imagine you had a ranch in Oklahoma and Texas, Montana, and Exxon just came in and started just taking your oil and not compensating you for it. That is the situation we have today online. Your data is being exploited. Your property is being taken without compensation. A lot of talk about privacy. In my view, and I think it's factual, that privacy is an illusion. It's just an illusion. Everybody wants to talk about being private, but if you have a credit card, if you have a mortgage, if you have a magazine subscription, if you have a driver's license, if you vote, your data is sold and sold and repackaged and sold again. California Department of Motor Vehicles, they make $80 million a year by selling data, driver's license data. Who drives Toyotas, drives BMWs. Marketers buy that data. How old are people buying this car and that car and all the kind of data that they collect? It is for sale. Every magazine company, I worked at Hearst after I sold Real Age. Their number one revenue is selling who subscribes to what magazine. So this concept of privacy is you got to be that guy off the grid, without a bank account, without a credit card, without a telephone, if you want your data to be private. So our point is you might as well make money from it because you ain't getting, it's not private. Obviously, compliance is a huge issue. We all know about GDPR, and the European Union has very strictly enforced GDPR. Parts of Asia, the US has been slow to enforce data regulations. California has the California Consumer Privacy Act, but it has slowed down. Meta filed all kinds of delays and lawsuits and stuff like that. So the California Privacy Act is slowly rolling out. But there are 12 other states that have private, data regulations about how data can be used, what is real permission, what is real consent. So marketers and anybody building AI tools have to be cognizant of these regulations. So we announced today, we put out a press release, the permission agent. Who knows who that guy is? Okay, he's a Hollywood agent from Entourage, Ari Emanuel. What was his job? His job was to represent actors and get them the most money they could get. It's a great metaphor for the permission agents. Who knows who that is? Anybody seen this movie? I'm not going to do the dance. It's not good. Show me the honey dance. But here's another agent whose job was to make money for their clients. That's what the permission agent is all about. The permission agent is all about taking your data and making you money. But it also does all kinds of other tasks. Who knows who that is? Who knows the reference? Well, it was actually in a very famous movie that cost $2 million to make. Is one of the biggest Hollywood blockbusters of all time. My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That she was the star and creator of it. Well, here she is as a travel agent. So the permission agent is not only there to make you money, but it represents, it's a mini-me. It can do any of your tasks online. Book you a hotel in New York, find shopping, do anything that you think about and how the agentic web is going to roll out. But its primary job is to be Jerry Maguire, Ari Emanuel. It's to make you money. So there's this agentic web we're all hearing about, which is what Google calls the Google protocol is literally A to A in that acronym. Letter A, numeral 2, A, agent to agent. It is coming out fast. We're a Google partner, and I've been at several events that Google's putting on all around the country, teaching business that they can deploy business agents to do tasks in minutes. Literally, if you want to fly your Nike and you want to find people who play tennis or golf, you can create an agent and set it up. But it's got to connect to another agent. It's got to connect to individual agents like the permission agent. And when that happens, this has to happen, which is, this is a term that's been around for decades, marketing, opt-in value exchange. I'm old enough as a kid to remember something called S&H green stamps that I used to paste in a book with my mother. Okay, go, thank you. But it was real. It was a 100-year-old business, and they were adopters of this idea of opt-in value exchange. I have Marriott up there because that's my favorite rewards program. Marriott Bond Me. I love my bond. It's, I was plaque for quite a while, and I lost that status recently. Um, but that the whole rewards world, which almost every consumer business has some kind of rewards program. That is the idea. We reward you, we get your data, we want your engagement, and the best consumer companies in the world are committed. American Express has built their whole business on their rewards program. Southwest Airlines, that's another one of my good ones that I like. They are excellent at their rewards programs, but so is United and Delta. And Starbucks is also excellent. These are companies that are committed to this concept of you opt in, you engage with us, we want to build trust, and we'll continue to reward you. And I love my points, and that's why I stay coming and doing business with these companies. Now, the vast majority of consumer companies aren't committed to their rewards program. They have it, they change it, they change it again, they do it again, and obviously that's reflected in consumer adoption. So these companies that I just listed are just fantastic in this idea of rewarding users in exchange for trust and engagement. So part of our platform is something called ASK. We started many years ago as a crypto company, with a crypto company, with the idea of digital advertising, you needed to reward people for their engagement. Well, all kinds of reasons. I can tell you why we didn't scale. The biggest one was the administration previous was, battled crypto, and it made any major advertiser not willing to take regulatory risk. That's all changed. That's all changed. Who's here involved with crypto? Anybody involved with crypto? A few of you? Well, that's good because let me tell you something about someone who's been in crypto for a long time. 90% of it is BS. It's BS. It's just casino chips. But the really cool stuff about crypto is what's called real world assets. You just saw Circle go to the moon with their IPO. That's a tokenized dollar, something that exists in the real world that benefits from tokenization and being traded on a blockchain. And you're going to see all kinds of assets on real estate and art become tokenized. That's where crypto is really going to become mainstream, is the tokenization of real world assets. And our crypto, ASK, is a tokenized rewards point. And it benefits, and rewards point benefits from tokenization because of liquidity, transparency, its ability to appreciate and have a real market. All those companies that I listed before have great rewards programs, but their tokens are siloed, or their rewards points are silent. They're not liquid, they're not transparent, you can't trade. And that's what Ask is all about. So, AI and crypto comes together in this A to A world. You see that guy? That's a crypto bro with his Lamborghini. The permission agent is going to make this happen when everybody simply and easily can benefit by just giving permission to share their data, their geography, their intent, their social media, everything that happens online. Hey, I'm going to share it and I'm going to earn from it. And that's what goes mainstream. Okay, if you know this concept, crossing the chasm, we're still in the early adopter phase, but I think very, very soon, AI and crypto come together and go mainstream. That thing, that white column is the chasm. I don't know if you know the book written by Jeffrey Moore in the 80s, but this is a concept for every new technology. How does it go from early adopters to mainstream? And we're so excited that the permission agent, you download it, you set it up, takes 2 seconds, and all of a sudden you just give permission and you earn passively. It just shows up in your wallet. So I think you probably all know who that dude is. You know, he's been a tech titan. He's out there calling about what's Web 5. There's something called Web 5, which is truly the decentralized web, where instead of Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta having all the data, you control your data. You own your data. You make money from your data. And the data is truly decentralized. And AI and agents, the agentic web, and the permission agent is going to make this real. So today we put out a press release. We announced the permission agent. We're super excited. It's going to be available very soon. People can download it and just start earning. And passive. They don't have to do anything. They're brought, in their browser. It says, "Oh, you just earned. Someone just bought your data." Blah, 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 blah. And we're super excited about the permission engine. It's going to have all kinds of other functionality that's going to delight users. And we really think it's going to scale in a big, big way. Thank you very much. We have a reception in room 203.